I'm John Schrott, and this is On the Spot. Today we're going to be talking with one of our interior designers, Lauren Vrbin, and we're going to be talking to you, Lauren, about the importance of color, form, and texture and how it impacts the patient experience. We can create a nice little box, but without the interior designer associated with that box, it's just a box. So how do you make that box improve the patient experience?
Well, John, by incorporating the use of color and texture, we can enhance the patient experience by making it more soothing, calming. They can get a better rest while they're staying there. It increases and speeds up the, what am I trying to say?
The healing process?
The healing process.
Okay.
So they're able to leave the hospital a lot sooner than they would have if it's just a plain white box. It enhances the staff experience so they can be more pleasant with the patients. It increases that whole experience in that way. Even the family experience, when you have that waiting room that's more relaxing for them, more soothing, it calms everyone's nerves.
Are there colors that you steer away from?
A lot of times people think red, because that's a little bit more energetic, alarming sometimes. We typically stay towards the blues and the greens, more of a natural tone, colorful neutrals, as I like to say. So we try to stay within those tones. Yellows, a lot of times we do steer away from, just because it does leave a color, it casts a color on the patient's skin. But aside from that, we like to explore a lot of different types of colors.
What about textures? Because I know we have a lot of opportunity these days to incorporate texture into the interior design.
Yeah, we try to use texture just to enhance, to add more interest into the space. So instead of having just a flat wall in the corridor, if we add some texture in that corridor, it brings more interest and breaks up the space a little bit more. If it's texture on the flooring, it from smooth to a little bit more of a carpet or softer, just to delineate different areas.
What about form work? Because sometimes we obviously have 6 sides that we have to work with, and we have the ability to incorporate different forms. How does form impact kind of the patient experience?
Well, if you're talking like raising ceiling heights.
Sure.
So if you want to do a waiting room or something like that, if you lower the ceiling, bring it in a little bit more, it creates a cozier, more comfortable space. If you're doing something more grand, like the main lobby for a hospital, raise it up, and then you can really utilize different lighting and different effects like that.
Do curved forms create a different feeling than rigid forms?
I think, curved, it's a little bit, obviously softer, bringing in nature a little bit more in that way. It's easier to navigate around a space than a harder edge.
When you're designing the interiors of these spaces, what is the first thing you think about?
Form.
Form?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do think about how that space is going to be perceived, how the patient experience. So going back to if it's a waiting room, making it cozier, or even a patient room, making it cozier, than a entry point or a corridor.
Have you had an experience where you created a design and you presented it to the end user and you really had to work hard to defend that design to get it to go forward because you knew it was the right answer?
Yeah, so Sinclair being one, I don't know if we can, but Sinclair being one for the donor wall, just to be able to take all of the requests that they had, their vision that they had, and be able to present it in that particular space and how it will work in that space exactly the way that they had imagined.
And what tools did you use to get your design to be approved?
We used a couple different. So we early on we did computer renderings. I did a few small scale mock-ups here just with paper, and then started gradually going towards physical mock-ups of the actual pieces that are going to be incorporated into that.
What's the funnest part of your job?
Rendering.
Rendering?
Yeah,
Okay.
so bringing those concepts to life and being able to present that to the client, showing the colors, the form, the textures all together, and to take it to them before it becomes reality.
Well, thanks, Lauren. Thanks for being on the spot. Thanks for wearing black today, too,
You know, colorful neutrals,
Right.
John,
Yeah.
colorful neutrals.
So until next time.